What's up, Turfies? It's Jessica, the girl with the voice that sparks conversations. And just like that, we have entered episode 2 of Keyaka podcast. This is your weekly show of student culture and lifestyle. And of course, I'm not writing this one solo, I'm doing it with my amazing co hosts.
Ashele guy, it's your girl Sissy Sparkles, popularly known as Lesedi Mutapo, the editor-in-chief. But today, I'm wearing a different hat, ready to talk about everything that's happening on campus, the Juicy Lucy on campus.
Nana.
And in season what technology arenane, and we'll be talking about the latest campus scoop and drama.
Nothing says. Happy now. Conservatious.
Nake.
With the letter V.
Aibo. Okay, guys, how has your week been? This has been a long week. How are you feeling?
It's been long. Semester marks. Qualifying.
Oh,
Right.
In and out, lecture halls.
Hey.
I mean, we go there.
For instance.
We're going
Are
to
you
see,
qualified?
no, we're going to see if they are in order, the marks are in order.
Oh, wow.
I'm qualifying.
Ow.
At this point, we're no
Siabo.
longer sure. But just like that, guys, we're starting off the show and we want to know what's been happening this month, what's happening this month here on campus.
Well, actually, October, it's mental health awareness, and the Center for Student Counseling and Development is running a campaign on campus where they're going around repping trees and with motivational quotes on them. I think if you go around campus, you'll see it.
Yeah.
They're just basically motivating students because I think exam season is approaching as well.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of motivating students as they pass the trees, just take a glimpse and you might be motivated, you never know.
I actually saw that on the Keyaka page where they were like going around putting those.
Sure.
And it was very cute, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's aesthetic.
Sure, no, Rato's cool.
But like,
And also talking about exam season, the exam are commencing on the 27th of October according to the university calendar. But on the 20th, that's where we're starting with the revision period. That's where the students get to do revision, catch up on some notes. So when the time approaches, they be on fleek. You can when you're going to a battle, you should be prepared.
Yeah.
Okay.
You pack your armor, your weapons.
Sure.
'Cause it's going down there.
Speaking of weapons, I think another important thing we need to consider is mental health.
Yeah.
Yes.
And with us today, we also have a representative from the Center for Student Counseling and Development who will be here to speak to us about some of the things that students go through. And before that, let us check a clip of what students are feeling like when it comes to mental health awareness issues. Let's check that clip out as we welcome our guest.
Well, I think the most prevalent reason young people struggle with mental health is the pressure, the societal pressure. That is the first one. The societal pressure to conform. So and so is doing this. So one thinks that he must do it as well in order to fit into that group. And another one is the academic pressure. The thought that you will not make it. And one thing that people are missing is that you can only do what you can control. You can only be happy with the things that you can control. The others, as the other one has said, leave it all to God, because his will shall be done and not your own.
I think mostly the pressures of the world and the pressure that we put on ourselves, the family put on ourselves, that by this age you're supposed to be doing this, by this age I'm supposed to be married or whatever, I'm supposed to be graduating. But I think if we take it one step at a time and understand that it's God's will and not mine, it's God's plan and not mine, and understand that we're not going to get everything at the same time, all of us. There's something for you at a particular time. So I think if we just reduce the pressure that we get and don't take the pressure and the words that we get from the world and our family that I'm supposed to be doing this at this time, then we can reduce mental health mostly in young people.
I think over and above genetics, traumas, and all such things, I think the biggest thing is the environment. The environment that we live in, I think contributes massively to our mental health and how we are impacted by such. So I think the environment, the biology then comes into effect. But then I think most and above that is the life events that happen in our lives, especially for first years who come to the university for the first time, the big environment, the pressures that we face in the academically, so socially. I think that impact our mental health as young people, especially in universities.
I think young people suffer from mental health because of several factors, but the most important one, it's the one that we try to fit in. Most of the time, we are trying to fit in, considering the fact that we are now at university. You try to look at the other person's destination, and we have different destinations. So you're trying to measure, or oh, I also have to get there. Oh, I also have to do that, and it's not what you're supposed to be doing. And the second one, it's the one of not talking. I think we're not talking because you feel like if I tell my friend, she's gonna tell her friend, and then eventually my story is all out there. It leads back to depression. So that's also another reason of fearing to come out, and you have to deal it all on your own. And also the big one, academic pressure. Oh, at home they're expecting a doctor. Oh, at home they're expecting a lawyer. Oh, at home this and all that. And then again, you pressurize yourself, and as a person, wow, and that's just mental health deterioration. So yeah.
And just like that, Turfies, we were looking at some of the mental health issues that our students face on the streets of campus. And with us today, like I said, we have a special guest from the Center for Student Counseling and Development, Ms. Magoma Machaba. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining us here on Keyaka Podcast, and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So when we were looking at the clip, right, we were able to see some of the challenge or hear some of the challenges that our students face, and most of them come from the fact that they fear being shamed of speaking up of their problems and just coming out and actually approaching you guys at D Block for help. Why do you think we still have this situation where students are fearful of coming to actually ask for help? Why do we still have that?
Thank you for the question. So it's due to judgment, right?
Okay.
Stigma is associated with discrimination and stereotype. So what happens is that the students are afraid of being judged by their peer. And also remember that stigma is a societal thing. It's something that starts from home. So they come here with the mentality that psychology services are for people, white people. You know, if you are a black person going to counseling, you are weak. If you are a black person attending counseling, you cannot handle your own life problems. You know, people view mental health as something to joke about. You do not take it serious. So hence they are able to make all these judgments towards people. And we also have something called self-stigma. And this is where the person now has internalized what the community has said and they're applying it to themselves. And that is another aspect that prevents students from coming to D Block to seek those services, because they now are telling themselves that they are losers, they are weak, and they cannot handle life by themselves. And that alone is perpetrating the more, but again, the symptoms that they are dealing with.
You know, I think with that, I can back it up with the saying that we have here, Spade, to say, "Monna ke nkulela teng." You know how
Yes.
I feel like if we were to look at how many people come there, chances are there's more females coming in than male. I could be wrong though, but I feel like a lot of guys have that thing to say, "Monna ke nkulela teng." And I think it's time we shed a light on that to say that's not the case. Like if you're a man or a guy going through something, you can actually ask for help, and that doesn't make you weak. What do you think, guys?
I think that's it. And then also, I think we should be able to educate them that yes, culture is great, but then it's not everything of culture that we should take. Like this big proverb that you just shared. It's not everything that we should live with because it's gonna kill us at the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Also, speaking of self-stigma, right? I think it's one of those things where I'm trying to associate it with people that think that going to consult is not necessarily a thing for them because they think that their problems are way bigger or way smaller. I don't have to go and consult, with a counselor. But also, in your experience dealing with like students, what are some of the common problems that you guys hear or rather students face, and also that are common in terms of affecting their mental health?
So some of the challenges that they come with, it has to be academic because we are in an institution that offers education. And then we also have psychosocial problems. So that could be your family problems, your relationship, mojolo, friendships as well. They also come there with challenges from depression, anxiety, and trauma. Yes.
So now, how do you walk them through that? Like, for instance, I'm depressed because of maybe of a home situation, for example, right? And I don't know how to de-associate my work and my life outside school. So now, what are one of the ways that if someone is watching right now and is in that position, what is one thing or one advice that you would give?
When it comes to that, it would be stop overthinking things. Overthinking things makes things worse.
Sure.
They are making the symptoms to be worse. They influence your feelings, and once they influence your feelings, they affect your behavior.
Sure.
Right? There's a saying in psychology that says your emotions and your thoughts are connected. If you're having negative thoughts, you're going to experience negative emotions. You're going to be sad. You're going to fall into things like depression. And once you are in that state, it's hard for you to be productive. It's hard for you to be concentrate on your academics. It's hard for you to concentrate on your schoolwork. It's hard for you to do anything. That overthinking, it paralyzes you into being still and not being productive.
Okay, and then also, when we're still on the overthinking part, we often see that most of the students come to D block when their mental health has elapsed totally. So, how would you say, or how would you give some symptoms that shows that you should need help? That some symptoms that should alert a person that, okay, if you see this happening to you, or if you encounter this, you should seek help immediately. What kind of symptoms should a person be alert of in terms of mental health?
Okay, the first one is the consistent feeling of feeling sad. If you're constantly overwhelmed with feelings of sadness, that is the first sign to show you that your mental health is deteriorating. And then the second one, it can be your appetite change, right? When you're eating too much, when you're stressed, that is a coping mechanism that is unhealthy. And if you're not eating at all, that's also another symptom that tells you that your mental health is deteriorating. Another one, it can be insomnia, right? Other people cannot sleep when they're stressed. Others, they sleep too much. So when you're seeing a change of pattern in your sleeping, that is when you should know that your mental health is starting to get affected. Another one is isolating themselves from their friends. You go there and say, friend, let's go out. They're like, nah, I don't feel like going there. Every weekend, and this person used to be a joyful person, used to be a social butterfly, and now they're no longer going out. That's a sign that their mental health is deteriorating as well.
I speaking of a person who always doesn't want to go out, and this person to be a bubbly person. I have this friend, right? Like first year, and it's a guy, West Pat. So I think maybe he's like struggling and stuff. So how, as a friend, if I see those symptoms, because I think it's possible for me to also notice them in my friend, how do I actually like go about telling them that, friend, let's consider going to D block for counseling or something? Like, how do I go about it?
Your manner of approach, right? You cannot just see that a person is sad, is feeling depressed, or they're isolating them, and you bombard them and like, let's go. I'm forcing you to go there. Sit down with them in a respectful, calm manner and tell them and say, friend, I've noticed this about you. I've noticed that you are isolating yourself and everything else. How about we go to D Block? We have a student counseling center here that works with students to help them with their problems. So let's go there and see if you cannot get help, because I am not happy about how your thingy is right now, how your state is right now. This shows that it's coming from a place of care and not you wanting them to do something that they are do not want to do that. Because once they come to D Block and they are forced, and you're like, okay, what has brought you here? They're like, my friend brought me here. I don't see a problem with myself. I don't want to come, Yes. So that thing of forcing them, it hinders the counseling process because they are not ready to talk about those things, But if you go to them and say, friend, I'm noticing this. How about we do this and see if you won't get better? We are just trying out.
I'm listening to her, and I'm just thinking, you're just a peer counselor.
No, I'm not a peer counselor. I'm a student registered counselor.
Yeah. But I picked this up to say there's no way that the way like she articulates, like this is a representative of CSCD for real. Let's clap hands for her. Because there's no way, like this girl, she's able to actually show us a different side of D Block. Like I think a lot of students tend to think, well, D Block, forgive yourself.
You know, I think that's the stigma around
that's
it.
the stigma around deep love.
You know, and with how you're like explaining how these things should go, how we should approach these things.
Yeah.
I myself, I'm learning that, you know what, sometimes all it takes is how you actually approach a person and a situation.
Yes.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, our students had a couple of questions for you guys because they're not really in the know of how to go about coming to D Block and everything like that, right? So first question is, how do you book an appointment? Do we actually book appointments? And if so, how do we do that?
You do not book appointments, right? What you do is that whenever you feel like you're going through that emotional and psychological distress, you come to D Block and tell them that I am here for a consultation. And then they're going to give you a paper to fill it in. And then once you're done filling in that paper, they're going to call a counselor to see you. Like it's a now thing. You come, you see a counselor now.
Interesting.
Same time, after filling the form and the counselor comes, you go in for counseling.
So this sort of answers the second question that we have from our students that says that, do you guys offer emergency counseling? Like as in, if right now I call you as Jessica, maybe I know you as Magoma to say, Magoma, I need you. Like I'm not okay, I need to talk. Can I come now? Like you guys do offer that.
We do offer that because we also have incidences where we are called into residency, maybe RDC, to say we have a situation, we need a counselor now. One of us is going to come and be there. And if you come to D Block and we can see that you are in a severe state, we are going to attend to you immediately. You know, we do have emergency counseling sessions.
That's interesting. You know, another thing I've noticed is that most students tend to feel overwhelmed during exam seasons and all of that. And that is the only time they actually come to you guys. Why do you think it only happens at this time? And how can we better alleviate it and just decrease it and just make it a habit of them coming earlier before exam times? Because by the time you come when you're writing exams, you won't really be focused on your academics as much. So how can we actually like advise them or make it a norm for them to come earlier?
They come to us because of exam anxiety or stress, right? Remember that during that time, that is when you have the pressure to say, at home, they're waiting for me to finish this degree. At home, I'm the one who is going to change the situation. You know, all this time, this thing is not there in your head because you are having fun. You know, you're enjoying your social life here in varsity. So when they come to us, it's an issue that now they are anxious. And the semester mark is another thing that be stressing them because the dates of getting your semester mark and the examination, it's quite short, right? And others is the thing that they experience pressure. They are not able to manage their time properly. So by the time that they look at their timetable, it's 2 days before they write. And they start being anxious and they come to D Block and say, I don't know what to do. I'm not able to concentrate. I'm feeling anxious. You know, a lot of things are going through my mind. I'm overthinking. What if I don't finish in time? But it all goes to managing your time properly. We know that second semester is one of the shortest semesters. So if you're able to manage your time properly throughout the year, actually, let's not make it a semester thing, throughout the year, we know that you have 5 modules, 6 modules. Yes, you're going out with your friends every weekend. By the time you're writing the test, the exam, you're under pressure, right? So manage your time properly. If you know you enjoy going out, make sure that during the week you're also paying attention to your academics. You know, remember why you are here. Those things are not gonna go anywhere. Even after work, you can still go or your groover and whatsoever. So learn to manage your time properly.
Ka kwa o ka re ke bolela le motswadi. Ka re, remember why you are here.
Why you're here.
Ka re tjo gane bo mma ka ba tile mo ka sebele. Gape ya click or kana.
Yes,
And ke bona ka re sese o tlo lo join segale a to consult.
soon and very soon.
O be a lla.
You'll find us ready for
O
him.
be a lla
But you know
semester
what?
mark.
I think it's safe to say let's make going to counseling a habit. Let's
Yeah.
make it a pattern. Let's not just go to counseling because it's exam season coming up and stuff. But also we preach mental health a lot, right? Because October is mental health awareness. Just walk me through it for someone who doesn't understand the concept of mental health. Like, what are you guys talking about? What do you mean I should go to counseling and this and that? Just walk me through that and also just make me understand, or rather just advise students on what they could do in terms of managing whether it's anxiety, the stress upcoming, and they don't want to come to counseling, or maybe when they come, the counselors come gonna be busy or something, right? Just tell me, just walk us through words and advice for it. Okay, when you're writing exams, this is this, you could do this, you can try this,
Tips, you know.
Tips.
Okay. So when we're talking about mental health, ne, it's more of when the stress that you are having, you are unable to cope with it. You know, it's affecting your day-to-day activities, you know.
overwhelmed.
Yes, you become easily overwhelmed even by the simplest task, you know. You're unable to finish even the simplest things, you know. So it's a thing that we have healthy stress, and that is the one that keeps you pushing, right? And if now the stress is no longer healthy, it's when it's causing you things like to overthink. It's making you cry whenever you have deadlines. You are crying instead of attending to those deadlines. Whenever you have to do something, you're like, I do not have the energy for this. This is when we're talking about mental health deteriorating. That's one of the things that we look into when it comes to mental health. The best way to maintain your mental health is to have someone to talk to, you know. A support group is quite important. Having support is one of the things that is essential in ensuring that a person does not feel alone. Because as human beings, we have that feeling of wanting to belong. So if you don't have that in your university, it makes things worse. You isolate yourself even more. You're asking yourself, what is it about me that I cannot make friends or anything like that, right? Try to have a support group, even if it's one person. Another thing is interact with people, right? When it comes to your exam preparation, make sure that you are sleeping enough, you are eating healthy, because the fats that we're eating, they're also paying attention to. It plays a role into our mental health, you know. Also exercise, go out, get fresh air. Do not keep yourself inside,
room
you
all
know.
the time.
Yes. Yeah,
And then
it's very
also,
important.
before we move forward, you mentioned something about sense of belonging, which we would say is peer pressure. So when other students or when some people don't find a way or a gap to come to D Block, they actually binge on drugs to cope with anxiety, depression, stress. They do alcohol. So how would you advise those kind of people who does those things?
It's hard to talk to someone who is in finding joy in those things, right? Other people do those things because of comfort. You know, those things, they trigger your hormones and your neurotransmitters, and they take you to another level, which is when you are intoxicated, and they enjoy being in that position. You know, that's when they become social butterflies. That's when you get to see what actually this person might be a fun person, but because they are under, you know, it's hard to talk to them. But the best thing that we can do is say, do not make substance your comfort, you know.
friend,
Yes.
I think the most important thing is just remembering why we're here. And with that being said, my doll, we'll come back to you just now.
All right.
We have a representative from the Center of Academic Excellence who will be sharing us some tips and tricks on how to better manage your time academics wise as we are approaching exam season.
I realized that during exam season, everyone has a panic. You know, everyone starts not knowing what to do, not knowing how to study. And usually we find that as the CAE is the most basic things that give people problems. First and foremost, the name CAE means Center for Academic Excellence, right? We are not going to give you the academic excellence. We engage with students that want to excel academically. So the services we offer, it's mentorship, it's tutorship, supplementary instruction, and usually the study tips that we give is that first and foremost, your willingness to be assisted shows that you are ready to do your best at your academics, right? And we try to develop a spirit of self-determination with you. We're going to give you studying tips, such as how to take notes, how to prepare for exam, how to beat that, what do they call that exam feeling when you don't know what to study. All of a sudden, you see. So the best thing that we can do from a CAE, not that I'm advocating for the CAE, but as a student, affiliate yourself with the CAE. There are many programs that are there for your best interest. So just make sure to put yourself out there and engage with the CAE such that you are able to get the assistance that you need. From my part, as for the study tips, I think those ones, we all did them in LO. It is not very necessary for me to repeat how to study, but I would like to emphasize the CAE is there for those purposes. If you affiliate yourself with various programs within the CAE, you can make sure that you are going to excel in this examination. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
so that outlines how the CAE can help.
Yes.
As a student, what are the mechanisms that you use to excel academically?
Okay. I don't think I'm going to speak to everyone here.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak to those who share the same problems as I do.
Yeah.
I'm quite lazy myself. I don't like studying. I don't enjoy it, right? So because I know that, I affiliate myself with other students that are either excelling or form a study group, you see, knowing that I procrastinate, I don't prioritize my things perfectly all the time. My first exam tip is to affiliate yourself with people that you want to be like. Not saying you must benchmark your performance on them, but there are people that can explain a certain concept to you better than how you would understand it when you're reading it for yourself, right? So my biggest exam tip that I found very effective for me and is still effective is to form study groups, is to form discussion groups, is to engage other students struggling with understanding this concept. How can you better explain it to me? Perhaps that explanation that they will give is what you've been needing for you to understand certain concepts. So the first and only study tip that I can give is to affiliate yourself with people that you would like to be with and people that are excelling academically, such that you yourself can also excel academically.
All right, as we wrap up the conversation about mental health and as we say goodbye to our guest from the CSCD, we're about to ask her some interesting questions because as much as we were able to have the knowledgeable talk and understanding how to better manage your mental health issues and what to do in order for you to get help from the CSCD, like you know me, Lankitamos, now I love playing some games. So I just want to ask you a couple of Q&A questions, fun stuff, so that people don't actually feel like batwa D block are serious or batwa D block are depressed or batwa D block as school or they don't understand the culture, the lifestyle and all of that. So let's start. Now this is where it's just 5 questions or 6, spicing it up a little bit. So it's this or that, right? So are you ready for me?
I'm ready.
Waka energy eno
Ke re, di a reng
gape le
he.
nna ke tla tšhaba o tamo wena because motho wa ona o re ke ready.
Okay, I'm
Aowa.
ready. Let's go.
Ke lena go forgive yourself lena. All right,
No.
so let's start. Studying at the library or in your room?
Library.
Se se le reng?
Library.
Lena le bana ba sekolo
It
akere?
keeps you motivated to see other people
Wow.
in that position. At the same time, it might also make you feel like you're not doing enough.
Hey,
So,
gape di academic na get this or that yena o gare wa tsenelela and I'm like sis this is not
sorry.
10 marks it's 1.
Right.
Answering critically.
Okay, nighttime or daytime?
Night.
Study group or solo?
Solo.
Study ahead of time or one day before?
Ahead of time.
Coffee or energy drinks?
Coffee.
Home cooked meals or takeaways?
Home cooked meals.
Wait, Nana. All right, just like that, guys. That was our guest, Makoma Machava, who is here from CSCD representing the center. And just like that, we are closing it off with her. See her again at D Vlog. Girls, our guest was here.
Sure.
We had a very interesting talk with her.
Very interesting.
A heavy one at that,
Heavy.
because I learned something about myself that
Yes.
I didn't know that when it comes to mental health,
Yeah.
there are some symptoms that you
Sure.
can see. What did you guys think about that talk?
You know what? For me personally, as someone who suffers from overthinking,
Oh, really?
I think Miguel, image, right? You have fights. For someone who suffers from overthinking, I think it's high time I downplay that and start looking into it like that to say, you know what, nka develop, you know,
Yes.
like I
Ke kgopela hore o thome ka ho teo, le le
I
two.
mean, from the talk, I've picked up something that I don't have to wait for me to be in the mud of my problems. So while my feet is still a little bit in, I should be able to go to D Block and say, oh, I feel like my feet is stuck. So they help me through the process. And then I think all of us as students, we should be able to reflect our problems and also reflect on why we are here and take a step and go to D Block, because if we go there already shattered, it will take time for them to fix us and we'll say they're not working.
True.
So it's best to go there before you are like this. Your problems are like this.
Before do choker.
Oh, yes.
You know what? I think as students, we should utilize the services that we have on campus.
Yeah.
I mean, there's D Block. It's better than me going to a psychologist somewhere else and
Where you're
actually
paying.
paying.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So I think as students, let's utilize the services that we have.
Exactly.
effectively. Don't wait. Yeah,
And save
you
some
understand?
coins because this is for free, guys. Like
know
you
what I
literally
mean?
can go there for free. And the counseling asiyama khuwa.
Exactly.
Luena, ole back.
Break that stigma.
You can go. All right.
Be the change you want to see.
It's a privilege.
All right. With
Yeah.
that being said, shout out to the peer counselors that are working with the CSCD, helping us as students to actually numb our pain and face our fears.
And you know what? With that, also shout out to also the students working alongside go the CSCD and also go CAE. You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. We're nothing without you.
And then also shout out to all the student volunteers. You guys are doing a great job. I mean, helping other students for nothing, just giving or pouring your heart out. That's tea.
Our
Clock it.
Apulweno ka se re for nothing.
It's even.
It took years
O ka re for
being
nothing.
in the chair. What do you mean?
I mean, okay. Baska it's
Okay.
not for nothing.
It's a from pelo, so it's for everything within you. It's from the heart. Hey. Okay, so anyways, where can people catch us, Cecilia Sedi?
Guys, don't forget to follow us on Facebook. We are Keyaka Magazine. On TikTok as well, we are Keyaka Magazine. Don't forget to find us on our website, www.keyaka.ac.za.
Leonard Tlipene, watch it on the official University of Limpopo page on YouTube. And just like that, guys, it brings us to a wrap of this episode. From myself, Jessica, Cecilia Sadie, who is aka Sparkles, and Musizanyana Muvenda, it is a wrap.
Catch us till next time.
Bye.